What's good, sports fans? Are you ready to elevate your live entertainment experience? Well, let me introduce you to SeatGeek, an amazing platform that connects you to your favorite events while saving you money. With SeatGeek, you can easily find tickets for sports games, concerts, and so much more, all in one place. The interface is user-friendly, making it simple to browse and compare prices. And one of the best features is the interactive seating chart. You can see exactly where you'll be sitting and how much you'll be spending, ensuring you get the best value for your money. But here's the best part. Check this out. By using my promo code, ChalkItUpSports, you can enjoy a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. That's right, $20 off your first SeatGeek order. Imagine catching that thrilling game or concert without breaking the bank. It's a win-win situation. Plus, you'll be a part of a community of fans who eat, sleep, and breathe live events just as much as you do. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description to download the SeatGeek app today. And don't forget to use my promo code ChalkItUpSports for a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. Get excited. Now let's get back to the show. Yeah. Y'all know what it is. Smash that like button. You're tuned in to Talking Up Sport. It don't matter if we lose, we win. We just got to crunch to the game. Yeah. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know the vibes. This is your boy Tone. This is the second. You guys are locked in on your dose of Chalking Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Couldn't be more grateful. Couldn't be happier to be with you guys. Y'all know the vibes. You know the energy. Do your jobs. Stay active. You know what I mean? So we got a lot to talk about. I got two things I want to specifically talk about with you guys. Two things. Okay? Two things I want to talk to you guys about. All right? But before we do so, you guys know exactly what your job is. You got to stay active. You guys have to hit that like button. You got to make sure you're subscribed to the channel. You got to make sure the notification bell is on so you can be fully made aware whenever we go live. That's the point of this whole thing, right? To make sure you guys are fully aware when the content is in full effect. So make sure you guys stay active. Make sure you guys are engaged in the content. And I can't wait to really have some fun with you guys today. Now, where do we start? Okay, let's start here. The most recent news pertaining to your Philadelphia Eagles. Most recent. The Philadelphia Eagles decided to bring back Joe Douglas. Joe Douglas was a former member of the Eagles front office. Joe Douglas, he spent the last 6 years. He spent his last 6 seasons with the New York Jets from 2019 to 2024, and he was unfortunately fired after the Jets had a 3-8 start to the 2024 season. Now, prior to that, Joe Douglas was the vice president of player personnel with the Philadelphia Eagles for 4 seasons from 2016 to 2019. In 2015, he was the director of college scouting for the Chicago Bears. And from 2000 to 2014, Joe Douglas was a scout for the Baltimore Ravens. And through that time, he's accumulated 3 Super Bowl rings, 2 with the Ravens, working in the scouting department, and 1 with the Philadelphia Eagles in the 2017-2018 season. Throughout his tenure in the NFL, Joe Douglas has worked with some of the smartest minds in football. That's Ozzie Newsome and Howie Roseman, to be specific, right? We know Ozzie Newsome is a Pro Football Hall of Famer, College Football Hall of Famer, one of the best GMs we've seen in football, a 2-time Super Bowl champion as the GM and VP of player operations for the Baltimore Ravens. And Howie Roseman is a 2-time Super Bowl champion as well as the GM and VP of player operations for the Philadelphia Eagles. So Joe Douglas comes from good stock. And we obviously know him for being with the Philadelphia Eagles previously. And he took his talents to New York to try to, earn his lumps, take his lumps as a GM and really be in full control of his destiny. And through those 6 years, it came with a lot of ups and downs. And it wasn't everything it was cracked up to be. Granted, they gave him a 6-year contract. He fulfilled the 6-year deal, despite them firing him mid-season. But through that time with the Jets, he did prove that he can find talent, specifically on the defensive side of the ball. He did find talent here and there on offense, but with the Jets, he did prove that he was able to build some pretty decent rosters. Because when I look at the Jets over the years, I feel like their issue was never really the roster. I felt like their issue was strictly the quarterback position. That's what I think, at least. I feel like their issues were the quarterback position and at times coaching. Their defense was always talented. Joe Douglas built that along with his scouting department and his front office. He's known for drafting guys like Will McDonald in 2023. He's an edge rusher. Sauce Gardner in 2022, who became an all-pro, Pro Bowler, and was a defensive rookie of the year. Garrett Wilson, wide receiver, who was offensive rookie of the year. Jermaine Johnson II in 2022 also was a Pro Bowler. Breece Hall, a very good running back, a very solid running back. Had to battle some injuries, I think, last season, but a very good running back nonetheless. And in 2021, he drafted Elijah Vera Tucker, a very good interior offensive lineman. He drafted Elijah Moore, a solid wide receiver in football, a number 3, borderline number 2 wide receiver in football. And he also drafted Quinyon Williams, D tackle, who has been an all-pro and a Pro Bowler in the NFL. So he's had the ability to find talent. Specifically, he's found that talent on the defensive side of the football. He has struggled to build offensive lines. Being with the Jets, he struggled to find that quarterback. He did draft Zach Wilson. So that's on the resume as well. Just as those good draftees are on the resume, the bad ones are on the resume as well. And like I said, the Jets have had a bad offensive line the entire time. He drafted Mekhi Becton, and they mishandled him. And they've always had average to good and at times great defenses. So things didn't go well for Joe Douglas with the New York Jets. They didn't have a winning season. They didn't make the playoffs a single time. He had to go through that Aaron Rodgers, Robert Saleh debacle. It was a lot. And it probably was a mutual decision for him to be let go. But now you bring him back. And I'm not exactly sure what his role is going to be. Let me see if I can find that out real quick. I'm not exactly sure what the role is going to be. But it looks like he will be. It looks like he'll be returning in a senior scouting role. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles did lose somebody. The Eagles did lose a front office executive. They lost, what's my man's name here? Give me a second. They lost Anthony Patch. Anthony Patch was the senior director of college scouting, and he took his talents to the Las Vegas Raiders. I believe he's going to the Raiders to be their VP of player personnel. So congratulations to Anthony Patch, and Joe Douglas comes back, and it looks like Joe Douglas is going to assume that senior director of college scouting role that Anthony Patch left over. Now, again, we look at Joe Douglas as a guy, he knows how to evaluate talent. He can evaluate talent. He spent over a decade with the Baltimore Ravens, and the Baltimore Ravens have always had a talented team. especially under Ozzie Newsome. Ozzie Newsome, he didn't do it by himself now. He had to send those scouts out, and those scouts had to bring back some talent for Ozzie Newsome to ultimately make the decision on. And obviously, Joe Douglas was pretty instrumental throughout that Super Bowl run, helping build that team with Howie Roseman. So bringing Joe Douglas back, it only helps. It only helps. And he's familiar. There's trust there. And since Joe Douglas has had his chance at the GM role, maybe he's coming back to kind of reestablish himself, to ground himself, and maybe he goes back into the open market to find a GM role somewhere else. But, being the GM for 6 years with the New York Jets, it can taint your resume. But he has been able to find talent nonetheless. So Joe Douglas comes back. I'm not mad at it. I think it's a pretty smart move, especially knowing you lost your head scout. Losing your head scout and Anthony Patch. It's a safe move. It's safe, and it's also an educated move. So I'm not mad about that, not one bit. All right. Now, I have a topic I want to get to with you guys. This topic we're going to have some fun with. We're going to really all be on the same side of the fence when it comes to this. I think we're all going to be on the same side of the fence when it comes to this. So follow me here. You guys are tuned in to Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge us to the game. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Hector, what's good? Welcome to the show. Alex, what's good? Will Bettencourt, Mr. Ralph Lauren, Humble Servant, Maya, Quentin Fields, Tiffany Dark Chocolate, welcome to the show. Sweet Chin Music, I appreciate all you guys for being here. Little G Griffith, thank y'all for locking in on the show. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Now, I want to talk to you guys about Jalen Hurts. That's what I want to do. I want to rant with you guys about Jalen Hurts and who he is, what he's done, how the NFL ultimately made a mistake. The NFL made a mistake. The NFL should have never, ever let Jalen Hurts win a Super Bowl. They should have never, ever let Jalen Hurts be Super Bowl MVP. They should have never, ever let him get that opportunity again. You see, a lot of people thought, NFL circles, maybe NFL evaluators, maybe some of these coaches, maybe some of these analysts and sports pundits on TV, when Jalen Hurts got there in 2022 and he lost, it was music to their ears. They knew in their heart he wasn't going back. The Eagles came so close. They lost to the Chiefs in 2022 to 2023 playoffs. They lost by 3 points. Jalen Hurts put up a dominant performance. He did fumble the ball that led to a touchdown, but he ultimately led that team to tie the game in the end. The game was tied. And Jalen Hurts and that Eagles team was unable to secure the Super Bowl in 2022. Those sports analysts, all those people who was against Jalen Hurts, it was music to their ears. It was music to their ears. They couldn't wait. They couldn't wait to say he can't do it. They couldn't wait to say Jalen Hurts is never, ever going to be able to win a Super Bowl. Never. And then it even made them even more excited when the Philadelphia Eagles had their 2023 collapse, starting the season 10-1. Jalen Hurts had multiple game-winning drives and comeback wins, being down by double-digit points and still coming back and winning the games, but they ultimately collapsed in the end. They started 10-1, and the Eagles went 11-6. Not only do the Eagles have to wear that as a team, Jalen Hurts had to wear that as the franchise, as the leader of the organization, as the face. He had to wear that as the leader of that team. Had to wear it, had to own it. But like Jalen Hurts does in typical Jalen Hurts fashion, Jalen Hurts got back into the lab. He got back into the lab. And one thing I've always respected Jalen Hurts for, not just the work ethic, not just how he carries himself as a man and as a pro, but somebody who always does exactly what needs to be done when it needs to be done. You got a lot of guys in this league that got all the talent in the world. They'll fill up the stat sheet. They'll get you all the fantasy points you need. But they can never do what needs to be done when it needs to be done. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Mm. But Jalen Hurts, on the other hand, he knew what his role was on this team, especially in 2024. He knew what he needed to do. And he knew when his number was called, he knew when he needed to put on the Superman cape, he could put it on. He knew when he needed to be the guy, he could be the guy. And also, in being the guy, you have to know when it's not your day, when you don't need to be the one to shoot the game-winning shot, when you don't need to be the one playing with ego. A lot of these quarterbacks in the league play the game with ego. A lot of these guys in the league, they want it to be them. The game has to begin and end with them. That's ego. If they don't throw the game-winning touchdown, if they're not the reason, they can't live with it. They can't live with it. But I look at Jalen Hurts as a guy who always does what needs to be done when it needs to be done. And I say to you guys, they should have never, ever let Jalen Hurts win a Super Bowl. They should have never, ever let him get a crack at the egg, a crack at the apple again. Because he told y'all, I'll be back. I'll be back with the vengeance. And like Denzel said, I'm leaving here with something. I'm leaving here with something. He said to his team, if I ever got the chance to do it again, if I ever got a chance at this game again, if I ever got a chance at that Lombardi trophy again, I know what I would do. I know what I would do. Jalen Hurts led the Philadelphia Eagles to a dominant victory in Super Bowl 59 over the Kansas City Chiefs, demolishing them. Now, obviously, the Philadelphia Eagles defense did their job, but Jalen Hurts also has to do his. He has to do his. Jalen Hurts has to fulfill his end of the bargain. We know Saquon Barkley was having a phenomenal season, an unprecedented season. When you got a guy on your roster doing things like that, you got to feed him. You can't play the game with ego. You can't step on that dope. You can't step on that. You got to make sure the fans get that uncut. The way Saquon Barkley was playing, you can't step on that dope. You want that shit raw. My man was running for 60 and 50-yard touchdowns left and right. Game-breaking touchdowns. Dominating. 200-yard rushing performances. 150-yard rushing performances. 2 and 3 touchdown games. Led the league in rushing. Broke the all-time rushing record for regular season and playoff yards combined. Offensive player of the year. First team All-Pro. One of the most dominant, probably the most dominant running back season we've ever seen. It's up there. You have to respect it. You have to respect it. We've never seen it before. jumping over motherfuckers backwards. How can you step on that? Why would Jalen Hurts get in the way of that? Because y'all want him to throw the ball? Because y'all want him to throw the ball 30, 40, 50 times a game? Why? Like I said, Jalen Hurts always does what needs to be done when it needs to be done. Had one of his most efficient seasons of his career, was productive, protected the football, led game-winning drives, led game-closing drives, was humble, took his lumps. Even when the Eagles were doubted throughout the season, they doubted his passing ability. They said he was holding the team back. They said that. They said those things. And then he gets hurt, misses the final couple games of the season. They say, will Jalen Hurts keep this team from winning the Super Bowl? They said that. Will Jalen Hurts keep this team from winning the Super Bowl? Because he had a rusty start to the playoffs. Okay. My man had a concussion. He had to knock the dust off. He had to knock the cobwebs off of the dome. You feel me? He was out with concussion, had to heat up a little bit. The crazy thing is, when he got hurt, he was heating up. He had that crazy Steelers performance. Then he went into the Washington game, wheeling and dealing. Then he got hurt. They was about to smack Washington. But, you know, the momentum got disrupted. It's okay, though. It's okay. Went into the playoffs, didn't turn the ball over. That's another thing people got to talk about. He didn't turn the ball over. We saw quarterbacks turning the ball over left and right. All these quarterbacks that they love, to laud over, turning the ball over left and right, being a liability to the team, not being somebody they could trust. Jalen Hurts in a wild card round. Let's make sure we got this right here. Jalen Hurts in that wild card round, it wasn't his greatest performance, but Jalen Hurts went 13 for 21, completed 62% of his passes, threw 2 passing touchdowns, no turnovers. In the Rams game, completed 75% of his passes, a 40-yard rushing touchdown, no turnovers. Then he took these motherfuckers to the woodshed. Took them to the woodshed in the NFC Championship. Took them to the woodshed in the Super Bowl. Need I say more? Need I say more? They should have never let Jalen Hurts win the Super Bowl. They should have never let Jalen Hurts get a taste of that. They should have never let him win the Super Bowl MVP. Never. Never. Should have never. Now this brother want more. This motherfucker like a shark in the water. He smelt blood. And that's all he know now. That's all he knows. He's experienced the highs of the highs in his league. That's all he knows now. My brother is spoiled. My brother has experienced the finer things in life. You can't just let my brother get a taste and say he can't have a whole buffet. He coming back for that. He want another one. AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, you know what they said? They said, yeah, winning the Super Bowl was cool, but a few days later, we think about the next one. We thinking about the next cornerback we got to burn to get to the Super Bowl. We thinking about the next cornerback, the next safety we got to run past to get to the promised land. We in love with the work. They in love with the grind. This Philadelphia Eagles team led by Jalen Hurts and them boys, Jalen Hurts What? They should have never let him get one. I'm thinking about Jalen Hurts' resume in college as well. Jalen Hurts has been through the ringer. Jalen Hurts has been through the ringer. But before we do that, make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Really do appreciate you guys. And by the way, Big Chris, Sweet Chin Music, let it the fuck go. Let it go. With all due respect, let it the fuck go. He didn't go to the White House. So fucking what? Why stand next to a man you don't allow? Why stand next to a man that don't align with your morals? Why? Why? You don't have to. It wasn't mandatory. Doesn't mean nothing. Let it go. Let it go. It's always funny about you guys. In particular, y'all who's so gung-ho about the White House. Particularly y'all who's so gung-ho about this administration. Y'all want freedom of thought. Y'all want freedom of expression, but you only want it on your terms. Get the fuck out of here. Go to another live stream with that energy. Go to another live stream with that energy. I don't care. Y'all care about freedom of thought. Y'all care about freedom of thought, but only when it's on your terms. I try my hardest to ignore the discourse. I try my hardest to stay on task. I tried to keep it football. I tried to focus on Jalen Hurts, the football player. Jalen Hurts as a leader of this franchise. I tried to focus on that. I tried to ignore the fodder. I tried to ignore the discourse, but you know what? Let's have it. We'll get back to the topic at hand in a second. Let it go. It's over. You didn't lose nothing. Your bill's still getting paid. I'm sure your check's still getting cleared. I'm sure the sky's still blue. I'm sure you still breathing oxygen. I'm sure your peoples is still healthy, alive and kicking. Nobody died. Relax. Relax. Everybody don't got to kiss the ring of that administration. Everybody don't got to fall in line. Some people got a backbone. Some people got morals. Some people stand on their own 10. And they say, you know what? That's not for me. I'm cool off that. I'm cool. I'll be okay. I'll be okay. Tradition? What? We in 2025. Tradition? We set our own trends over here. We in 2025. My man talking about tradition. It was so many things that was traditional in the USA. It was so many things that was tradition. I don't want to make this that kind of conversation. There was so many things that were tradition that we shake our head at. We turn our nose up at. Y'all want to talk about tradition. Y'all want to talk about tradition, but this administration has not abided by tradition. What are we talking about? This is not that kind of show. I don't want to make it there. I don't want to take it there. We want to talk about tradition. This presidency, this administration has gone against tradition. They've gone against the grain time and time again. But we want to care about tradition when it matters to us. We want to care about the standard when it's convenient for us. You want to know? You want to know what tradition? You want to know what tradition is? Going through an election, having a winner, having a loser, having the winner or having the loser bow out gracefully instead of sicking his hounds on the White House or on the Capitol. That's not tradition, is it? What's tradition is taking a loss and saying, hey, better luck next time. That's tradition. When you lose the presidency, you say, you know what? I lost. You don't complain about the results. You don't send psychos to the Capitol. But let's get back to football. let's go back to football, man. Let's get back to football. Like I said, let's go back to football. Like I said, Jalen Hurts didn't go. What's done is done. Let's go back to football. My bad, you guys. Let's get back to talking about Jalen Hurts, the football player. Let's get back to talking about Jalen Hurts, the Super Bowl champion, the Super Bowl MVP, the All-Pro, the Pro Bowler. Let's get back to talking about that. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you guys are locked in on Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge us to the game. I'm your humble host, Tony DeShields II. I love to love you. I love to hate you. You feel me? Let's keep this thing going. So, again, they should have never let Jalen Hurts win the Super Bowl. They should have never, ever let him get this platform. They should have never let him get this on the resume. And when you think about his time in college, he was bred for this situation. He was bred for this moment. He's been through so many various trials and tribulations in college. Let's really take it back, right? Jalen Hurts, when he went to Alabama, played under Nick Saban from 2016 to 2018. That's 3 seasons. He started as a true freshman in the 2016-2017 season, and he ultimately became the SEC Offensive Player of the Year. The following season, he leads that team to the national championship, and he gets benched. He gets benched at halftime for Tua Tagovailoa. Now, in all fairness, Jalen Hurts was not having a good game. He was not having a good game. Alabama was scoreless, no points on the board. He was not having a good game. So they bench him. They put Tua in. Tua goes on to win the championship for the team. Jalen Hurts running down the sideline, supporting that brother, showing love to that brother, being a teammate, celebrating with the team. And instead of transferring his 3rd year, he came back. He came back for that 2017. I'm sorry, he came back for that 2018 season. He came back for that 2018-2019 season. He came back for that. He didn't pout. He didn't complain. He grinded. He worked. He was a good teammate. He was the backup. He did his job. And then Tua goes down. Tua goes down in the SEC championship in the 4th quarter. 11 minutes left. What does Jalen Hurts do? Comes in and saves the day. Alabama was down 28-21. 28-21, and Tua was getting his ass kicked. I know we all remember that game. Tua was getting his ass kicked. They was beating him up left and right. And he ultimately left the game in the 4th quarter, 11 minutes left. Bama's down 28-21. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? You know what Jalen Hurts does? He comes in, goes 7 for 9, throws for 82 yards in the 4th quarter, 1 passing touchdown, adding in 5 rushes for 28 yards and a rushing touchdown. My man put up over 115 yards, over 110 yards of total offense in the 4th quarter, 2 touchdowns. Won the SEC championship 35-28 over Georgia. Come on, man. Clutch. This is what I'm talking about. Being ready when your number is called, doing what needs to be done when it needs to be done. Jalen Hurts been clutch. He been clutch. But he also had to learn that. He had to learn that. He had to go through the fire to learn how to be ready for the moment. He had to learn to be ready for the moment. You get benched in the national championship, that changes you. The whole world is watching. One of the most embarrassing moments somebody can experience in sports. You get benched. You played for the number 1 program in college football. And you get benched in the national championship. And your backup goes to win the game. How do you survive that mentally as an athlete? Not many guys can survive that. Not many guys can survive that. Do we agree or do we not disagree? Do we agree with that? But nonetheless, wins the SEC championship. Now, granted, Tua came back healthy a couple weeks later, and they ultimately didn't win the Natty that year. I think they got smoked by Clemson, if I'm not mistaken. But Jalen Hurts stayed at Bama for 3 years, played in 42 games, 445 completions, 706 attempts, completed 63% of his passes, over 5,600 passing yards, averaged 8 yards an attempt, 48 passing touchdowns, 12 interceptions, also had 381 rush attempts, almost 2,000 rushing yards, averaged over 5 yards a rush attempt, and 23 rushing touchdowns. He was the SEC Offensive Player of the Year in 2016, a national champion in the 2017-2018 season, and an SEC Conference champion in the 2018-2019 season. This brother is decorated. This brother is clutch. This brother turns up when he needs to turn up. And then we get to the transfer. We get to the Oklahoma season, the 2019-2020 season. Jalen Hurts realized, you know what? As much as I love this team, as much as I love this program, I have to do what's best for me. I have to take my talent. I have to take my skill to the next level. I have to take my talents to the next level. If I'm going to develop, if I'm going to get where I want to be as a professional, I have to put myself in an uncomfortable environment so I can be challenged. Because let's be honest, Alabama was not moving off of Tua. Tua was their guy. Jalen knew that and still stayed another year. But he ultimately transferred for the 2019 season, and he put his future in his own hands. At Oklahoma, Hurts was coached by Lincoln Riley, skills as a passer and his pocket presence. We've seen Jalen Hurts have his most remarkable season as a passer in his college career. Hurts led the Sooners to a 12-2 record, winning the Big 12 championship over Baylor, but they did lose in the college football semifinals to LSU. But clearly, despite all of that, the tape, everything showed you this brother took leaps and bounds, major leaps and bounds as a passer, and had a career year statistically, and was the runner-up for the Heisman Trophy behind Joe Burrow. If Joe Burrow doesn't have that anomaly of a season, that unprecedented season, Jalen Hurts is the Heisman winner. He came in second place for the Heisman. You think about the numbers he's put up: 14 games at Oklahoma, 237 completions on 340 pass attempts, completed a career high 69.7% of his passes, had a career high in passing yards, over 3,800 passing yards, had a career high in yards per attempt at 11.3 yards, had a career high in passing touchdowns with 32, 8 interceptions, had 233 rush attempts, over almost 1,300 rushing yards, averaged over 5 yards an attempt, and 21 total touchdowns, had 20 rushing, 1 receiving touchdown. This brother had 53 total touchdowns. 53 total touchdowns in one season at Oklahoma. This brother had over 5,000 yards in total offense. Completed almost 70% of his passes. Big 12 conference champion. Heisman runner-up led the Big 12 in completion percentage that year, in touchdowns per year, in yards per attempt, and passer rating. But they tried to tell this brother in the draft, hey, are you considering changing your position at the NFL level? Man, that 2020 NFL draft experience was crazy. That 2020 draft experience was crazy. They asked him, would you consider changing your position in college? He said, I'm a quarterback. I'm a quarterback. Many people said he would be a career backup. Many people said you can't build your franchise around Jalen Hurts. He's limited as a passer. He's too short. They had so many things about this brother game that they had a problem with. And Jalen Hurts just kept his head down. Worked. Put one foot in front of the other. Continued to hone himself mentally. And ultimately, he was drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles, second round, 53rd overall. Now, ahead of him went Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa, Justin Herbert, and Jordan Love. All those guys went in the first round. All those guys went in the first round. Joe Burrow, Tua, Justin Herbert, Jordan Love. They all said, I would rather build my franchise around those guys than Jalen Hurts, who was the 5th quarterback taken in the draft in the second round. And hindsight is definitely 2020. And I don't bring this up to take anything away from Joe Burrow's talent. I don't want to take anything away from Tua's talent. I don't want to take anything away from Herbert's talent. I don't want to take anything away from Jordan Love's talent. But that's the thing. Talent. Is that what it's all about? Just talent? It can't be. Tom Brady's proven that. It can't just be about talent. Brock Purdy has proven it can't just be about talent. Kurt Warner has proven it can't just be about talent. It can't be. It requires more than that. It requires more. Steve Young proved that it can't just be about talent. Montana. It can't just be about talent. Nick Foles, it can't just be about talent. You got to have something in you. Then when the chips are on the line, what are you going to do? What are you going to do when the chips are on the line? And look, with all due respect to those guys, Joe Burrow, Tua, Herbert, Jordan Love, with all due respect to those men, I'm taking Jalen Hurts over them any day of the week. I take everything that comes with Jalen Hurts. Sure, you can pick at his game. You can find the flaws in it, I'm sure. But I'll take everything that comes with that, brother. You want to know why? Because it also comes with a Super Bowl. It also comes with a Super Bowl MVP. It also comes with 2 Super Bowl appearances. It comes with an All-Pro. It comes with a Pro Bowl. 2 Pro Bowls, excuse me. It comes with 2 division titles in 4 years. I'm just saying. It comes with a playoff berth every single season. I'm just saying. I know who I would take when it mattered most. I know who I would take if it mattered most. That's just my humble opinion. People will have all their opinions about Jalen Hurts, be it on the field stuff, off the field stuff. Say what you want about him. As far as I'm concerned, Jalen Hurts, he's earned that money. $50 million a season, the only $50 million quarterback in the NFL that actually won a Super Bowl. They giving these quarterbacks money left and right. They just paid Brock Purdy. Dak got all this money. Trevor Lawrence got all this money. Justin Herbert, Tua got all this money. Joe Burrow got all this money. Jordan Love got all this money. Who else? All these $50 million plus quarterbacks got all this money. $60 million plus got all this money. And Jalen Hurts, Jalen Hurts making that $50 million count. Jalen Hurts told y'all from the rip. Money is nice. Championships are better. And guess what? Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, look, Jalen Hurts, let me put it to you this way. Jalen Hurts is set for life. He's set for life. He doesn't have to do another thing. He's set for life. He got his bachelor's degree from Alabama, got his master's from Oklahoma in business administration. Or is it public relations? I can't remember. Over $100 million plus in the bank. Married, family good. He's set for life. He's set for life. But he's still got that hunger. Still got that drive. Still got that desire to get back to the dance. He's a competitor. He's clutch. You can trust him in the big games. You can trust him to lead your team. You can trust him to get it done. You can trust him to get it done. Isn't that what it's all about at the end of the day? At the end of the day, my man Texas Boy says, I look at Jalen Hurts like Trent Dilfer and Brad Johnson, who lucked up on the Super Bowl. How do you luck into something twice? So you saying he got lucky 2 years in a row? He got there twice. Let me read this super chat. My man Alex, thank you for the super chat, Alex. He says, I understand there was a different time back then, but Joe Montana never threw for over 4,000 yards in any season. Yeah, it was definitely a different time back then. Definitely a different time, for sure. But, you know, shout out to Joe Montana. He got the hardware, so it don't even matter. Yost22H, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Or thank you for becoming a member. Sorry about that. Thank you for becoming a member. I really do appreciate you. Thank you. Smash that like button, my man. Make sure you're subscribed. Thank you for becoming a member. Well, in order to be a member, you got to subscribe. So that's redundant. But nonetheless, thank you. Thank you. But how do you get lucky twice? How do you get lucky 2 separate seasons? He made it to a Super Bowl with a different center. He made it to a Super Bowl with a different right guard. He made it to a Super Bowl with a different running back, 2 different occasions, 2 different Super Bowl appearances, 2 different centers, 2 different guards, 2 different running backs. What else can I say? 2 different offensive coordinators, 2 different defensive coordinators, 2 different defensive rosters, and he's lucky? Shit, well, damn, I'll take that. I'll take that on. Hey, listen, maybe Dak needs to find whatever luck Jalen Hurts has. Maybe Dak needs to find whatever luck Jalen Hurts has. I'll take it. Whatever helps y'all sleep at night. Whatever y'all got to tell yourselves about Jalen Hurts. Whatever you got to convince yourself about, hey, I'm cool with that. I'm sitting pretty over this motherfucker. I'm sitting pretty. I'm comfy. You heard? I'm comfy. I'm comfy. You dig me? You see, Dak can't get it done. So maybe y'all should carry him more. Maybe y'all should carry him more. Maybe y'all should carry him more. And by the way, Jalen Hurts is only 26. He'll be 27 in August. His story is yet to be written. Y'all let Jalen Hurts get 2 more Super Bowls, which I think he will. Y'all let Jalen Hurts get 2 more Super Bowls. You can't tell me he's not a shoo-in for the Hall of Fame. What are you talking about? Y'all better not let Jalen Hurts get 2 more Super Bowls. Y'all better not. Two more Super. If Jalen Hurts ends his career with 3 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowl MVPs, excuse me, with his career win-loss percentage being intact the way it is, with his career playoff win percentage being intact the way it is, say what you want about the film. Say what you want about how you value his talent. You can't deny the results. And that's going to kill y'all in the end. That's going to break your heart in the end. That's going to kill your spirit. This is a results-based business. This is a results-based business. They already talking about Eli Manning being a second ballot Hall of Famer. He didn't get in this year, but watch he get in. They talking about Eli Manning being a Hall of Famer already. He has a career win percentage of 500. He has a career 50% win-loss percentage. He went 500 for his entire career. 500. Jalen Hurts is 6-3 in the playoffs. Has won 60% of his playoff games. Jalen Hurts is 46-20 on his career. Has won over 70% of his regular season games. What are we talking about? Come on now, you can't be this desperate. You can't. And I know Texas boy, he craving attention. I'm gonna give it to him though, because it makes the show more exciting. It makes the show more interesting when it's when it's turbulent. But it's I understand. I understand the Cowboys streams ain't popping enough. You know what? Let me not say that because I respect some of those guys. Let me not say that. Let me not speak ill of the dead. Let me not speak ill of the dead. I got a lot of respect for a good amount of Cowboys content creators. I got some respect. I got a few of y'all over there that I respect. Shout out to Law Nation. Shout out to my man CFT, Cowboys Fan Talk. Shout out to J Tuck. Shout out to those 3 guys. Shout out to those 3 guys. Other than that, I don't really respect y'all. I don't really respect y'all. Shout out to those guys. You know what? Shout out to Vach Lombardi too. I respect what he's built. So it's 4 of y'all I respect. It's 4 of y'all I respect. I don't respect nobody else. I respect Rome. I respect Law. I respect Tuck. And I respect Vach. And guess what? I only worked with one of those guys. I just respect what Tuck is built. I respect what Law Nation has built. I respect what Vox Lombardi has built. That's where my respect come from. I respect their grind. I respect their football acumen. Now, of course, because we're on different sides of the fence, there's always going to be trolling involved, but I respect what they've built. I've worked with CFT before. I had him on the channel, I think, a couple years ago. I might have to get him back on at some point. I respect him. But other than that, if your name ain't Rome from CFT, if you ain't Tuck, if you ain't Law, if you ain't Vox, I don't respect you. I don't respect you. You're comedic relief to me. But you know, when you haven't seen success in a long time, I can understand how frustration builds up. I can understand how frustration builds. I understand that. I understand. You know, imagine. I'm about to go here with y'all. Imagine being celibate, being abstinent since 1996. Imagine being celibate since 1996. Imagine that. Imagine holding all that in for since 1996. Imagine that. Imagine that. Ooh. Ooh. Shout out to Dave Dust. Shout out to Dave Dust. I appreciate the love, bro. You already know it's love. I'm gonna get with you, man. I just had some things going on, but I'm gonna get with you. I ain't forget about you, Dave. I ain't forget. I'm gonna tap in with LB and see if they want to do the still want to do the custom giveaway. But shout out to Dave Dust, man. Always showing love. I appreciate you, Dave. But imagine being a Cowboys fan and you celibate since 1996. Ooh, imagine not feeling the touch of a woman since 1996. Imagine not feeling that. Oh, so buttercream. Imagine not feeling that shea butter. Imagine not smelling that shea butter. Imagine not tasting the yam since 1996. Imagine that. Woo! I wouldn't know what to do with myself. I wouldn't know what to do with myself, Cowboys fans. I wouldn't know. I would not know. But nonetheless, man, you know, it's cool on this side. It's fun on this side, man. When you're winning, when you're successful, when you got that Super Bowl, you know what I mean? You got that Super Bowl, you know what I mean? You know, it's a little different on this side. It's a little different, but you know, we're gonna get out of here. I done did enough trolling for the day. You guys have been phenomenal. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. You guys are truly spectacular. Shout out to Dang Bird Game with the super chat. He says, ain't it funny how wins become a team stat, but Brady and Montana are GOATs because they have multiple rings. They call Jackson a winner. Yo, bro, I feel you on that. They want to talk about how dominant Brady and Montana was because of how much they won, the Lombardis and all that, the rings. They want the Super Bowl MVPs. They want to talk about that when it comes to them, but when it comes to Jalen Hurts, oh no, winning is a team stat. Winning is a team stat. They want to talk about Patrick Mahomes, Super Bowls and Super Bowl MVPs, but winning is a team stat. Okay. If winning is a team stat, why do we keep track of quarterbacks' win-loss percentage or win-loss record? Why do we keep track of it? Why do we talk about quarterbacks and why do we say this? Why do we talk about quarterbacks with this respect? You can't win with them. That's how quarterbacks are talked about. They ask you in the draft, can you win with them? Can you be the reason they win and not be the reason they lose? Why do we keep track of this stuff for quarterbacks if wins are strictly a team stat? Why do we? Just saying. I'm just saying. And guess what? If wins are a team stat, why are we keeping track of Dak Prescott's record against the Eagles? Why do we keep track of that? Why are we keeping track of Dak Prescott's record against the Eagles? Like it means something in the end. Like it comes with a banner or like it comes with a trophy. It doesn't. But when it comes to Jalen Hurts, oh, no, wins are a team stat. Look at the film. Okay, yeah. Anyway, shout out to Dingberg game, man. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. Again, we're going to get out of here, you guys. It's been a hell of a show. Smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you guys go check out the videos we've been dropping on the channel. Go check out the shorts. Also, make sure you guys go check me out on TikTok. I'm on TikTok now. All you got to do is search Chalk It Up Sports. Your boy is on TikTok now. You feel me? So lock in. And you guys have been phenomenal. You guys have been tuned in to Chalk It Up Sports. I've been your humble host, Tone DeShields II. Where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game.